Hey, so here's the deal. In this video, I'm going to review every episode of Stone Ocean as fast as possible, okay? Basically, here's the format. I'll go watch an episode and then immediately after that episode, I'll come here and give you my thoughts about it in a minute or two, and so on for all 12 episodes of this batch. Some of you might say, wow, Vaughn, that's a really unique approach. You're a genius. Wow, you impressed me. Nah, let's cut the crap. I took this format from Just Stop. I saw his Gintama review a couple of weeks ago and it really impressed me. So go check him out. So let's begin. So I just finished the first episode and oh my god, it's been a while since I watched the JoJo, man. This is so fucking unique and fun. And one thing I need to get out first before I get into anything. It seems like we don't have to worry about censoring or anything because this is on Netflix, and from what I've seen so far on the first episode, there will be no censorship, there will be no holding back. It will be as brutal as it can be, as fun as it can be. So the episode begins with the imprisonment of Jolene, which is kind of what we expected from the trailers and everything. And it seems like she was falsely accused, or she was set up by her lawyer. At first, when I saw that lawyer's face, I know that that bitch is not safe. Like, he has something up, like you cannot trust that lawyer. So as I expected, that lawyer turned out to be a real piece of shit, and his and her boyfriend, who is Romeo, his name is Romeo. He basically set her up. He told her when they ran over that person, he told her that that person is dead, the victim is dead, so we have to dispose of him. Don't you love me? He appealed the love card basically and told her please, please. And basically she's a teenager in love. She decided to help her first love, basically, as she said in this episode. But he's a real piece of shit, this Romeo. And they basically set her up to get her in jail for 15 years. And we learned more about Jolene family circumstances. So Jotaro basically is away because he's a marine biologist, as we know from part 5, I guess, at the beginning of part 5. He's a marine biologist. He's traveling the world, discovering new marine life, basically. So he's right now in Africa. And from what I've understood from the dialogue between the lawyer and Jolene, he basically said that, I'm not sure if they are divorced, Jolene's mother and Jotaro, but it seems like they implied that they were divorced. But they seem to love each other, basically, from the pendant and the picture inside the pendant. Yeah, the lawyer gave her a pendant which basically contains a fragment of the arrow that gives you a stand power. And in this episode, obviously Jolene got a stand power. That power seems like it involves some future hearing, some divination or something. Like, it has some relations to future and time, like every JoJo has, basically. So yeah, that was the episode. I don't want to get too deep into it. I just have to get my honest thought and impressions about it. Yeah, before I go into anything, I like Ernest. She seems like she will be one of the main cast. She seems like she will be a regular. I liked her. I liked how the opening scene was basically about them talking about masturbation and shit. Basically, the first scene, it just reminded me how weird JoJo can get. So basically, Jolene looked at the jail bars and she thought, wow, this turns me on, and she started masturbating. This is so funny. This is why I love JoJo, the randomness of everything. So yeah. I love Ernest. I like her design. She seems like she'll be a really cool character, so I cannot wait to see her involvement in the future. So on to episode 2 I go. Okay, episode 2. Basically, essentially, this is the quintessential JoJo episode. It was so JoJo that oh man, I can't believe that we're experiencing JoJo like this. This is so fun. This is how JoJo should be experienced. Anyways, the whole episode basically revolves around Jolene and her cellmate Guis. I think her name is Guis. Basically, Guis, I love her personality and I love her design. I love everything around her. I want her to be a regular. I want her to be a part of the main cast. I'm not sure if she'll be part of the main cast because she seems like an irredeemable piece of shit, but I love her because she is an irredeemable piece of shit. She has a great personality. She has that almost bipolar tendencies. I love everything around her. And this episode, the first half was fun, comedy, basically seeing how messed up Goose is and how she's treating that bird, or that, as we come to know, the guard. And after that, how she treats Jolene and gives her a rat skin and tells her to squeak if she wants to talk, and Jolene obeying that because she wants to get out of jail. And I think Jolene admits to herself and acknowledges that Goose's power is useful. If you think about it, in a jailbreak, this power is essential. If she wants to get out of jail, this is the power she should have around. So yeah, Jolene basically follows Goose's orders, and she goes around. She looks throughout the prison basically to know the layout of the prison, to know the layout of the control room. Then because they are both newbies to stands and the power of stands, they don't know how their power actually works. So when Goose went out of range, basically, Jolene began to get back to her normal size, and after that, she basically went back and they had a fight. Basically, that's what I'm saying. They had a fight. Jolene won because she is the main character. She's JoJo, and man, I love Jolene's character. Like, I love her line where she says, if there is a hierarchy, then I'll admit it, I'll follow it, but I'll be the one giving the orders. Man, she is such a badass character. Like, she deserves to be a main character. She is possibly the first JoJo that I was this excited about more than the other characters. Like, in every JoJo, the main protagonist is not always the big sellout of the show. It happened in part 5. It happened kind of in part 4. In part 3, I was sold in Jotaro. Some people did not like Jotaro as much as the other cast members. But in part 2, that's the only part where I was a big fan of the main protagonist, who was Joseph, and this brought back that feeling for me. I'm more excited about Jolene than any other cast member. I want to know more about her. I want to see her progress. I want to see her use her stand more. Basically, she materializes her stand. She names it Stone Free because she said Stone Free, but you know, the copyright and other stuff, they named it in the translation Stone Ocean. So basically, that's the episode. She subdues Goose and she takes control of the cell. She now basically has an underling in Goose, and that's the first step to getting out of this jail, basically. Yeah, this is it for episode 2. On to episode 3 I go. So Jotaro came out this episode. He visited Jolene. The premise of this episode is basically the whole it actually has 2 parts. The first part of the episode or the first half of the episode was basically Jolene learning the rules of the prison, and she learns that she has to stand her ground. She has to not show any weaknesses. That whole helping the weak and lending money to whoever needs it mentality that she had in the outside world should be considered as a no in this episode in the prison basically show. So she learns that she stands her ground. She fucks with the woman basically that gave her the money, because she told her that I'm not giving you back the money, actually give me more money. Basically that whole bullying the weak mentality that's in the prison. And she stood her ground. She taught her a lesson, and yeah, basically that's it. The second half of the episode was the visit from Jotaro, and we learned that the main I'm not sure if he's the main villain of this part. He doesn't strike me as a villain, as a big villain. Like, yeah, he's a big nuisance right now, but I'm not sure if he will be the main villain. But we learn about the villain that is facing us right now, and his name is Jungali, whatever his name is. His name is weird, man. Anyway, the blind white-haired dude, basically. He is a pawn of Dio. Dio is still, man. Dio was such a massive thing in the world. Like, people don't understand this, and I don't understand how much of a big threat Dio was to have this much impact 20 years later in the story. Like, oh my god, Dio's iconic. You have to give him that. So basically he's an underling of Dio from way back when Jotaro fought Dio, and he has a grudge obviously against the Joestar family line. He wants to kill Jolene. I'm not sure why he wants to kill Jolene in specific and not Jotaro, but I'm guessing because Jotaro is always off the grid and you can't find him, and because Jotaro is kind of broken with the whole star platinum stand and world ability, and we've seen him use this ability this episode, but he still has a time limit. It seems like it's been 20 years, he's not evolved, he's not gotten a power up, he's still basically the same Jotaro. What else? Yeah, Jolene doesn't like Jotaro, as she should, basically, because he left her when she was a kid. He was always absent. He was an absent father, basically, and you've seen her mother suffer from this absence, and the way she is mentally tormented by this. So yeah, she basically hates him. And even man, Jotaro is such a stoic man. Just drop the act, show some love for your girl, man. Just show some love. You don't have to keep this act. Give her the facts straight, and he gave her the facts, but you don't have to keep this tough demeanor. And even when he's sacrificing himself for his daughter, he is still keeping that tough demeanor. Just drop the act and show her some love. She wants some love, even though this is his way of doing things. This is how Jotaro has always been. He's always been like this since part 3. He's just this type of character. He's a stoic man. Yeah, that's basically the episode. On to episode 4 I go. Yeah, good job, man, well done. Till now I have not mentioned the animation and directing of this part of JoJo, because it's a standard at this point that every JoJo has a superb animation and direction behind it. But this is just beyond amazing. This is something that Oh man, everything about this episode was great. And from the last episode, there was something weird, you know, the echoes when when Jotaro was talking, when Jolene was talking, the echoes. This played into this episode and into the power of Jongari A, or whatever his name is. Whatever, man. His name is fucked, man. I'm calling him Villain A because he seems like he's going to be a fucking small villain, like the first one to introduce us to this part, basically. Anyways, I have not mentioned the boy last episode because honestly he slipped from my mind, and thank God that he slipped from my mind, because in this episode we explore more about that plotline and his existence. Basically, he seems like he exists, or I'm not sure if what we saw are facts or not, because it seems like everything we saw before is fabricated. So I can't. I'm not sure what to do with this info. How Jongali A or Villain A knew about the existence of the boy, because we saw from his point of view that he was actually hunting him. He was actually hunting the boy. He was actually going around and trying to kill him. We saw that from his point of view. We saw that everything about his power from Villain A's point of view. So I'm not sure how is that fabricated. How is everything fabricated? I'm confused, man. Man, Araki is the fucking master of everything weird and bizarre, man. This is so bizarre. His whole ability is so bizarre. Like, everything about this episode was basically a mind fuck, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it, and I'm loving it. This part is already. I'm not saying it's better than part 5, because part 5 was really different from any kind of JoJo before. So I'm liking that this part is basically going back to the roots of everything. Like, we are back with the Joesters, we are back with the weirdness, we are back with Dio's involvement, kind of. Everything about this episode was great. Animation, sound effects, After Effects, the sound design, as I said. Oh my god, everything about this episode was top notch, man. This is so good. I still can't believe that we are watching JoJo part 6 this way. Anyways, on to episode 5 I go. So I just finished episode 5, and this episode is unlike any episode we've watched this far. I've got my notes here. I've actually written down some notes because this episode it has a lot of details like anyone could easily miss. I think it has a lot of details to the main villain that we saw. But before I go into anything, I just want to talk about the whole Jotaro situation. Like, holy shit. I was actually crying, you know, because oh my god, Jotaro. I connect with Jotaro. People don't like Jotaro as much as other JoJo's because he's stoic, man. He is stoic. He can't show his emotions. That's just who he is. That's just the way he interacts with the people around him. Even when his own daughter is questioning his love for her, he is still there trying. He just can't communicate those things. He can't verbalize them. He just show it with actions. That's why I love Jotaro. That's why I connect with him, because I'm more like him. I tend to internalize a lot of things, and yeah, people just sometimes misunderstand. Like, it's not that he doesn't want to show love. It's just that he's showing love the way he can. And seeing Jolene at first misunderstand him, and with the whole tripping and falling over, then she's actually she basically just wants some love from her father. And when she at first thought that he was actually caring for her. Then Jotaro just says, "Hey, you, yeah, you dropped this pendant, you dog. Don't drop it. This is important." And then she is saying that you're always calm and collected. You don't care about my well-being, and everything after that was basically her blaming Jotaro. And from her perspective, that makes sense. From her perspective, that makes sense. I'm with her. Like, but can we just I don't know, man. Maybe because I love Jotaro, maybe because I spent some time with Jotaro, I know how he acts, I know how he communicates with people. And then to see her after that, she finally understands him. He sacrificed himself for her. It's just, oh my god. I was crying until the last 3 to 4 minutes. And this episode was basically the episode that puts us in the direction of the ending, because now we have an end goal. She knows who the main villain is, or she knows that he exists within the prison, and she's actually going back into the prison. She's not going out. She's going back into the prison to confront this man and hunt him down, because that finding that person actually could save Jotaro, because he took his stand. Let's talk about that. That person, that there were actually two people attacking Jotaro and Julian. The first one was Jongalee, and the second one was the person who made them dream, basically. So the whole thing with the dream being so real, and it had some facts to it, that's actually explained here through that person. Like, he showed them the standability of his partner on purpose. His partner did not know the contents of the dream, so he thought that he was showing them something different. But this villain seems so prepared to everything, basically just like every other main villain of JoJo. He's calculated, he's cold, he's careful, he's cautious. Anyways, moving on. He was aiming for Jotaro all along because of his stand. Finally, Jotaro's stand is being addressed as an OP power. Like, it's OP. Jotaro's stand is OP. But that's why I was so confused in part 4 and part 5, that nobody was addressing how broken Star Platinum is. It can stop time. And now, for the first time, someone actually is actively hunting Jotaro down to get his stand. And that person is the main villain of this part. He got the stand, he got the spirit of Jotaro as well. And we back to the kid. From that, we got the name of the kid and how he came to be in the prison. He was actually born in prison because his mother was an inmate. She gave birth to him, and from that moment onwards, he became that became his home, basically. His mother was killed by this person. That's the bone that he gave to Jolene is actually the pelvis of his mother. So yeah, it's all around fucked up. So Jolene gave him a little help, and then the funniest thing the funniest thing happened. Jotaro basically tells Jolene to position her stand in a perfect way for him to punch her to the door and break the door, basically. Oh my god, that was so funny. That only happens in that only happens in JoJo, man. And then Jolene basically saying, "I'm pissed, I hate you," and everything. It's just all around great episode. Like, this part is shaping up to be better than part 5. Like, this is amazing. Anyways, that's all from me. Going into episode 6. Let's go, man. This episode was crazy. It was centered around Hermes, so obviously the episode is good because I love Hermes. I think she is I love Hermes. I just love Hermes. I don't think anything. I love this. I love this human being so much. Like, oh my god, man, this episode was so good. It was so funny. Again, Araki with the weird and bizarre situations. This situation was crazy. The whole stand users attract other stand users plotline has been brought back again. We see that White Snake has actually made contact with this janitor, and this person, this janitor's whole personality is so fucked. Like, he's so twisted. I can't believe that Araki wrote someone this twisted. Like, his whole personality, his whole existence is so twisted and full of contradictions. And they say that he's evil. I wouldn't say that he's evil. I'd say he's just twisted. Like, everything about his character is twisted. So basically he's suicidal. He wants to kill himself, and it was I know that when I say it was so funny, it may sound like a bit insensitive and harsh, but it was so funny to see to see him switch from, oh, you're so nice, you're so kind, you're trying to save me, okay, I'll kill myself. Oh my god, that was so funny, man. This dark comedy can only be found in JoJo. Like, I'm so invested in this part already. Like, I love Hermes, I love Jojo, I love Jolene, I love Imperio, who is the little kid. He showed up in this episode. He told Hermes that Jolene actually told him to keep an eye on her, and Jolene actually wants her to come so they can find this white snake, or as they dubbed it in the translation, pale snake. So they're going around to find pale snake or white snake. I'm calling him white snake. Anyways, that's all for this episode. I think this episode is really good. I think it's probably the funniest episode after episode 2, with the whole thing with Gus. This is the funniest episode. I also like Hermes. I think she's going to be my favorite, although I still love Jolene, but I think this is definitely more like the Mista character. Like, she will shine because of her pure personality. Her personality is just pure. Like, when that whole scene happened, when the janitor was telling her that, oh, you saved me, you saved my life, I want to repay this deed to you, and she was all embarrassed and saying to him, oh, you don't have to. That was so cute, man. That was so cute. Anyways, that's it for this episode, and I think I'm going to end this video here, and I'm going to make another video because it's already 30 minutes before editing, and I know that nobody will watch a 30-minute video, so in hopes for anyone to even give this video a chance, I'm going to divide this video into 2 parts. The first part is obviously the first 6 episodes, me reviewing the first 6 episodes, and the second part is the second 2 episodes. It's self-explanatory. Anyways, that's it from me. If you liked the video, give me a like. If you disliked it, give me a dislike, although nobody will see it. YouTube is a genius. I don't know, man. Anyways, subscribe for more content, and yeah, bye.